All right, what is good, members of the Raider D family? Good to see all you guys. So it looks like you guys are getting your emails. Let me post this link here in the chat. And all right, link is in the chat for open mic night, so you guys should be able to copy that and jump up in here. Interesting though, it says my view counter says we have 0 people in here, but in the comments we have Christopher Raiders in the house, James is in the house, Raider Ryan's in the house, Ryan Johnson's in the house. I don't know why my view counter is so off.
Excuse me. I'm having trouble seeing the comments. Let me see what's going on here.
Not seeing nobody yet. Are you guys all here? This is the first time we're trying to do it this way. Raider Ryan, you in here, brother? Looks like somebody's coming in. He's got A-Train in the house. And what's up, brother?
It was good.
What's going on, my man?
Not much. I'm gonna have to say right now, man. Like, it's been a long time since I saw a Raiders draft that wasn't like a complete and total like disappointment.
I agree 100%, man. It felt like actual had adults in the room. You know, I haven't given the Raiders. I gave them an overall B plus. I haven't given a above a C in years. So this feels really, really good. I'm just excited, man. I think we got some serious playmakers, and we didn't do any crazy stuff like reach for players who don't even belong in the first round. So I'm 100% happy with it. I can't complain. Well, I can because I wanted Brendan Rice in the 7th round.
The only thing I can complain about is the Blaze pick. Like, I don't understand the Blaze pick.
Glaze?
Yeah.
What's your confusion on that one? You feel like we didn't need a tackle?
I don't know. I didn't see it coming.
As far as the player himself or the position?
No, the player himself. I just hadn't even heard of him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. He's a good player. Yeah. He really showed out at the Senior Bowl, and we had coaches down there, so we got a real good close look at him. He's a good athlete, well put together, got some overall good technique and stuff, so it's a good potential player. He was a little bit of a sleeper, so I understand that.
I mean, he was, according to PFF, I mean, he was drafted right where he was projected to be drafted at. So I think it was a pretty good pick. One of the things that kind of the knocks on him is he's gonna have to get better out on an island, because even though he's got the wingspan, he's got the length, he's got the size, he actually plays better at guard than he does at tackle. But he has the body of a tackle, And so that's what we're counting on, is that he's going to be able to transition into that tackle position at this next level. I think Darren Mumford's going to be the starter. He's going to be a rotational piece that can come in and play guard or tackle and start getting those reps in and start building him up. Again, he's a guy that you're going to have on the team for 4 years, so it's one of those depth pieces because we were pretty thin on the offensive line. And so now we have some good youth in the building on that offensive line. We know linemen are going to go down and stuff like that. So he's not a guy that I had, at all highly scouted or anything like that. So I'm certainly not an expert on him. I had to go back and look at what the experts have to say about him, and everything is really good. Just some intangibles on being out there at right tackle that he's going to have to work on. But other than that, I'm super happy with it. Again, I just my only thing that I just don't understand quite yet as to what Tom Telesco's plan is how he's going to address this wide receiver room, because he did not address it in the free agency. We actually let go of a wide receiver in Hunter Renfrow. We are down to 5 wide receivers, and only 2 of them are true starter calibers, with Trey Tucker up and coming. So I'm pretty concerned about the depth that we have at wide receiver right now. Obviously, a lot of people are saying, well, Brock Bowers can play wide receiver. Devontae goes down, Brock Bowers is not going out to wide receiver. So no, he's not a wide receiver. He is a tight end who can spread out wide, but he only did it rarely. It's not last year he did it 19% of his snaps, which is pretty good for a tight end, so he can go out there and do it. But most of those were decoy snaps. So
Right.
that's the only thing I'm concerned about. I think we need some depth in that wide receiver room.
We did add some undrafted free agent players since the draft.
Basically, since I ate dinner.
We added South Alabama quarterback Carter Bradley. TCU.
That's interesting.
Yeah, right. Carter Bradley is actually an interesting player. We'll get into that. Andrew Coker, a lineman from TCU. He's a guardish kind of guy. And then 2 receivers, Romel Caton from Tennessee and Dietrich or Tulu Griffin. We'll go with Tulu Griffin from Mississippi State. So those are undrafted free agents that have been added. Some undrafted free agents of note, people might be interested. Frank Gore Jr. is a Bill. Austin Reed from Western Kentucky, the quarterback, went to Chicago. Start hedging their bet there.
Real quick, what do you guys think about that? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's good. One more. Jack Plummer to Louisville, quarterback.
What do you guys think about that running back we drafted? That running back is a scat back, right? He can catch passes out of the backfield. I mean, he seems like a good prospect.
He actually caught 68 balls this year. So a little more than just out of the backfield. He can line up in the slot. And he is more of a threat there, I think, than even out of the backfield. But he's a good zone runner. Probably more explosive than people gave him credit for after we saw what he did at the combine and after you go look at the tape a little bit more. So yeah, he's an interesting player, man.
And the whole return and kicks thing now with the whole NFL rule change, I think he could benefit it, in that aspect too. His special teams play, it seems like is pretty good. So
yeah, he's a kick and punt returner. Yeah, so nice call. Absolutely. Huge part of why I think he got drafted.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, if we were to do that, DJ Turner was returning kicks last year, right?
I think we had some of that.
He was returning punts, and then
we had the DeAndre Carter returning kicks as well.
Yeah,
but we didn't bring him back. So
I guess
Hunter Renfrow doing it for a minute, but he gone.
Yeah. Plus, that's always scary, man. I think when he was good, he was probably too good for us to be having as a punt returner.
Oh, facts.
But yeah, I mean the kid from Tennessee, Caton. I mean he's the 6'3" kind of receiver, that we were talking about. So,
I'm gonna have to watch tape on him. Is another one that I haven't paid attention to.
Yeah, I didn't go into scouting him either, but I know from just kind of looking over some of the taller receivers when I was just trying to see who I would look at that he was one of those taller guys, but I didn't go into scouting him.
That's the good thing. Like over the next few days, we'll all be able to kind of go over all these players, especially the undrafted players that nobody's really ever heard of. Go through their game tape, give some better evaluation. I mean, when it comes to these undrafted players, 7th round players, you're just hoping that they at least make the practice squad. I mean, best result, they're like a 3rd string guy, something like that, depth piece.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these undrafted guys, a lot of these 7th round guys, even sometimes 6th round guys, you see them at draft day, but then you never see them again because they end up getting cut from the team when we have to do the big cut downs. So my only thing that kind of this whole draft that just really blew my mind was, again, Brendan Rice falling all the way to the 7th round was crazy to me. I've got to dig into that story and find out why that was, because I had him going hopefully to the Raiders at least round 5.
Yep.
And then he fell to us at 6 and we passed on him. He fell to us again and we passed on him. And then he ended up getting snatched up by San Diego. That's a crazy story because that kid is a phenomenal wide receiver potential, right? I think he was just barely scratched the surface over there at USC. So I gotta kind of find out why that did, because that's got me confused, and I was hoping the Raiders would get him, but did not happen.
Super depressing because I'm even wearing my Reebok retro Jerry Rice jersey today. Yeah, I got the Jerry Rice on today. I've been switching it up all weekend, and I wore the Rice today, thinking that we might get lucky. And no, we didn't. We didn't take that route. So I'm kind of curious too why we didn't do that. But he's got good genes, so I don't quite understand that either. But maybe there's something we don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, part of it, I did hear that he had a bad pro day. Okay, that's one day. I mean, a lot of players had bad days that got drafted way higher than him. So that doesn't really explain it for me. Then there was the whole Keyshawn Johnson interview thing, which I don't think there's much of a story behind that. To me, it's crazy. I can't believe the Raiders passed on him, especially being who his dad is, connection to the Raiders, and the fact that he has a 17.6 per reception average. That's pretty dang good, man. And he had 800 yards receiving, 14 touchdowns. So yeah, pretty wild.
Did he go to the Chargers? Did he go to the Chargers?
He did.
Oh, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
We didn't want him.
No,
You can have him.
Pass on generational talent all day long, I guess. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I tried to make everyone feel better because we got Ed Reed's cousin at safety from Air Force. And he is actually a physical freak, and it could be a player for us. That's not even a joke. But there's our generational player, right?
I do agree with that. 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
And Frank Gore Jr., he's out there. I mean, I think he's still undrafted. Am I mistaken?
But that would give us like 20.
He signed with the Bills.
Even if he was, that'd give us like 20 running backs.
I don't know.
Like how many more do we need? Can we get a wide receiver, please?
Yeah,
for the love of God.
I feel you.
Because my biggest worry is Devontae Adams is our superstar, and he is 31 going 32. His contract is getting more expensive by the day. You have to be thinking about his future retirement or moving on at some point, because he will, one of the other. And then what happens if he gets injured? So that's why I got a lot of hate in the comments when I said that, Brian Thomas Jr. would have been a better pick for the Raiders than Brock Bowers. And everybody called me an idiot. I think it was the same people who called me an idiot when I said Atlanta will draft a quarterback in the first round ahead of the Raiders. And, well, we all see how that turned out. I was 100% right.
Still makes no sense.
I mean, to me it does. To me it does.
You got a crystal ball.
They handcuffed their whole team.
No, it's not.
They handcuffed their whole team with that.
It's not really that. It's just the fact that Kirk Cousins isn't going to be able to start till week 4. What are you going to do? Just sacrifice the first 4 weeks?
Kirk Cousins said he's blindsided by it. He was blindsided by it.
Well,
your starting quarterback.
Dude, you're making $90 million. Wipe your tears with the cash, like somebody said in the comments earlier.
Dude,
matter of fact, give me $100,000 and I'll come wipe them for you.
Yeah. I was devastated when that happened. I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
But to be honest, at this point, I think, what if Penix had fallen to us at 13? Do you think the Raiders really would have took him? Because we made absolutely no effort towards a quarterback. I don't think we would have.
We got caught flat-footed. I don't think that we expected to have to make a move up. If you listen to what Sean Payton says, okay,
nobody listens to Sean Payton.
I go listen to other head coaches talk about their drafts. Okay.
I want to listen to his tears in a jar.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing I want to hear from him.
Listening to where he was at, he said that when they got past the Giants and the Giants didn't take a quarterback, he took a sigh of relief because he thought, okay, well, us, Minnesota, and the Raiders, we can all just get the guy we want. Nobody do anything stupid. So we all know what that means. He was going to pick Nix. Minnesota was going to pick JJ. We were going to pick Penix. And then Atlanta did something stupid.
I like Nix, man. I like Nix a lot. I wish the Raiders would have gotten Nix. I'm not going to lie. I'm an Oregon fan, but I think Nix is going to be the truth.
Well, I hope you're wrong because he's with the Broncos.
I do too, but A-Train, man, once you see it, you can't unsee it, bro. It is what it is.
No, he's cerebral. That's his thing. He's a really cerebral quarterback, and he's older too. I get that, but at the same time, I mean, look at Penix now. He's not going to start till he's maybe 27 years old, which you still get maybe 10 years out of him or 5 years. Which I understand why they did what they did, like you said. Like, it makes sense in that aspect of it. But I mean, if I'm Kirk Cousins, I'm a little bit pissed off you didn't give me a weapon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're already setting my expiration date. And bro, like, why do you take a first round pick that you can't use for years? This is not win later NFL. It's not really a thing where you get to just kind of take a first round pick and sit him for 2 or 3 years and not get anything out of it, dude.
Well, here's the thing. I believe in Aiden O'Connell, so I called the Falcons. And I told him, do me a favor and piss off everybody in Atlanta, including Kirk Cousins, and take a quarterback named Michael Penix Jr. so the Raiders won't take him. So we'll get another offensive weapon, and AOC is going to turn into Peyton Manning.
All right.
I hope you got that.
This is recorded. This is recorded for later.
You're gonna have death threats. You gotta turn that down.
We're on members only, bro. So only the members are gonna right now can see this.
For real.
There's some people coming for you, bro.
If this is like when I let all the secrets out. If you want to know the secrets, you got to be a member. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Because I don't want the whole world knowing. I get enough hate mail in the comments as it is.
Yeah, well, geez, man, I might have to come for you because you never know.
I was just saying, but for real though, I think we're in a better situation because think about it. If we'd taken Penix, we now have a 3 quarterback competition.
Mm-hmm.
What if all 3 of them are just as good as the other? What we don't have right now is Brock Bowers.
This is true.
or would have been my pick with Brian Thomas Jr. But I mean, you can't
Yeah.
lose with either one of those guys. You got a super weapon for
Yeah.
your quarterback. We wouldn't have that
You
right
can't-
now.
Exactly, and you can't cash out on a quarterback that's good this year anyway. It'd be next off season where we get that pick back, and then got to go through a draft, and Bowers plays now, so yeah, there's some value in
Exactly.
that for sure.
Exactly.
Bowers is a top. He's a top pick. He's one of the top picks in the entire draft. Granted, we didn't need him. You know what I mean? Like, we have Michael Mayer, but I mean, best player available at the time. Tom Telesco thought that that's what he should do, and you know what? Like, he can block a little bit. I mean, but I'm not mad about it, given the situation that we were put in at the time. I mean, that's just my opinion, though.
Here's what I
Yeah,
think,
no.
because at the presser, Tom Telesco basically told the whole world what our offense is going to be when he said there's no rule in the NFL that says you can't play 2 tight ends at the same time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which means the whole plan has been we're going to go 2 tight ends set. Now there's benefits for that. One is that's Luke Getsy's offense anyway. So that's why we brought in another tight end before this in the free agency, though that kid was probably going to be more of the blocker, and then Michael Mayer would go out as the receiving threat. But now
Exactly.
you have Michael Mayer can block, chip block, and then go out as a receiving threat, and you have Brock Bowers going out immediately as that receiving threat down the middle. And so that opens up your playbook, because now it's a lot easier for a quarterback to throw down the middle of the field than it is sideline to sideline. Well, the middle of the field was kind of the weak part of our game last year, and now you have a true 6'4" threat who's just going to eat up the middle of that field, and you don't only have one, you have 2. And so that's going to make things really interesting. I think the even more interesting part is now, like Hot Beavers, you said this. Does this mean Jacoby's now going to be our number 2 wideout, and Brock is going to line up in that slot, and then Michael Mayer line up as a traditional tight end?
I like that.
That's what you'll see.
I like that.
And I think you're going to see a lot of inverted stuff too, where Mayer goes up and threatens the seam with his height and size. He uses that to threaten the seam, and then at the same time, Brock Bauer is really effective at that kind of take a 2-yard, flare, pass and try to go house with it, stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting how those two get used back and forth, and then you sprinkle in some Trey Tucker. And yeah, I'm excited. Definitely.
I think Trey Tucker is he's gonna blow up this year. I think Trey Tucker is gonna come out really hard this year. I mean, he's fast, man. He's a burner, and with him out there, I mean, it's gonna free up everybody else. I mean, I like Trey Tucker a lot, and I understand that if you put him on the outside, he's a serious threat.
And the crazy thing is, who has really good chemistry with Trey Tucker? Aiden O'Connell. Because they came into the league together, so they'd had the whole rookie minicamp together, and that's all he really had to throw the ball to. So they developed their chemistry really early in the season.
Also preseason. Yeah, he was like hitting them with bombs. It is, in preseason. It was like a little preview for us. Have you guys heard? Is it that Aiden O'Connell put on 15 pounds of muscle? Is that a true statement that I'm hearing?
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you got pro NFL trainers in there.
I mean, he's there with Max Crosby every day, from what I've heard. I guess he's an AP guy. I mean, that's why they didn't draft a quarterback. I mean, they got one undrafted, but I mean, I have no hate for Aiden O'Connell. I don't. And Aiden O'Connell with a full offseason and rookie minicamp and all that stuff, I think there's a good chance that he could give Gardner Minshew, who's been in the league for a minute, a really good run for his money. And either way, as long as we win, I don't care who the quarterback is. Like, I have no problem with whoever wins the job. But I think Aiden O'Connell is going to take strides this year too. I believe that. I believe he's a good kid and a good quarterback. I kind of wanted like the Raiders to try to get Jordan Travis a little later. I did. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah, I was big on him. I thought he would have been a great addition to the team, Because one of the benefits of grabbing Jordan Travis is, let's say Aiden O'Connell literally does turn into the miniature Peyton Manning, right? He takes a huge step as the starter this year, and we go and win 13, 14 games, win the AFC West, make a run for a Super Bowl, all of that. Everybody's buying AOC jerseys. I'm selling AOC T-shirts, right?
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
You know what I'm saying?
It's coming.
And then you have Jordan Travis. Okay, well, now what do you do with him? Well, he is a draft pick, so you get your draft pick back the next year because you can literally now trade the kid for at least the same draft pick that you got him for, maybe even better if he shows out in the preseason and shows some real possibilities there. So it just gives you that value, and that's why a lot of GMs do it. Which was why I was surprised that we didn't draft him when we had the chance. But I think Tom Telesco realized, look, we already got Anthony Brown, we got Gardner Minshew, and we got AOC. Let's get other positions, and then we can do the same thing with Anthony Brown next year. If we don't need him, we can just trade him off for a 5th or a 6th round pick.
Do you believe in Anthony Brown at all, though? I mean,
I don't.
I mean, no, me neither.
No, I think when they brought him, everybody got excited because everybody's on the mobile quarterback train, and he's a mobile quarterback, but he's more of a mobile running back who throws the ball. To me, he's a less talented Justin Fields. Doesn't mean that he can't become something if he's given an opportunity. But from what I've seen in looking at the opportunities he's had, his throwing mechanics are wonky. They take way too long. His reads take too long. And there's a reason why Baltimore cut him a year after drafting him.
I feel a little bit differently.
I know you do.
I think that cutting a player doesn't mean that they're not good. Sometimes people get cut for different reasons. When I go look at his tape, I think that he has more of like a Jacoby Brissett feel to me. That's probably his ceiling, but that's not a horrible player. And I think that's pretty much what he's going to end up playing like, is a Jacoby Brissett type. I think his biggest issue is he's risk averse. He doesn't risk it for the biscuit. And, he's a good athlete. Like very good athlete, but he's not like a blazing fast guy. He's a 4.7 guy at quarterback, right? So it's not like he's just going to run past defenders, right? So he can scramble and that kind of stuff, but, he's not a guy who can, have design runs and things like that, based around him, doing that sort of stuff too much. Because even though he's 4.7, he's not as like, even as shifty as to say like a Minshew. I think Minshew is more agile and makes people miss better than he does. So that's what I got.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even know that about Brown. So, I mean, I respect that because I really never paid too much attention to him, when he was at the Ravens or anything like that. But, I mean, I feel better about it now. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying he's a terrible player or anything, but when we did the futures contract with him to bring him onto the team, this is what Antonio Pierce feels about him. When he was at the round table and they were asking him about the quarterbacks on the team and how he feels about that, and is he going to be aggressive and going up in the draft? And he's like, of course, I'm an aggressive guy. I want to go up. I mean, we only have 2 quarterbacks on the team, and you need 3. And somebody had to remind him that he had Anthony Brown on the team. And he's like, oh, yeah, I guess Anthony Brown, that makes 3. So when your head coach forgets that you're even on the team, that's not a good sign. I'm just saying.
Hey, real quick, I want to show you guys something. I want you to check this out. This is a 1998 Raiders. Oh, you can't really see it. I'm trying to hold it up. No, hold on. Give me a second. You guys got to see this. This thing is retro. I have a bunch of retro clothes. They got signed Charles Woodson jerseys, signed Janikowski jerseys. That's a starter jacket from like 1995. Like, ooh, I got, dude, nice. I'm going to tell you right now, bro, like, out of all the content creators, I'm the one guy who got upset with you like a couple weeks ago because you posted that live thing,
I don't.
and like I emailed you, and
Yep.
you responded back, and you did me a solid and responded right back to me, and I resubscribed and came back like that. But I'm gonna tell you this, I respect the hell out of you because you were camping with your family and you were like, hold up, let me go talk to this emotional Raider fan real quick, right? And you squared up with me, dude, because I was like, you're posting lives, you're not posting lives, and being all dramatic, right? Like, and I was like, dude, I have no words for the respect that I have for you. Like, getting back to me as quick as you did, that means a lot, by the way.
Man, it's family, bro. It's
Yeah.
family. I'm from Oakland, bro. We used to tailgate all the time with complete and utter strangers, sharing food. You know what I mean? Like that's just the way it is with me with the Raider Nation. Even when I'm on vacation, I'm still keeping tuned. I'm still reading comments. I'm still checking emails. I'm still doing all that because for me, it's fun what I do. I love the Raiders. I love covering the Raiders. I love talking about the Raiders. But the thing I love the most is I love talking to other Raiders fans.
Yeah.
So I take it serious. If anybody hits me up, and I've been saying this from the beginning when I started this channel. The reason why I started this channel is because some of my favorite other Raiders creators were doing some nonsense that when I first started watching them, they weren't doing. And so finally I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start my own channel and start posting stuff. And so I told the nation back when I had like 200 subscribers, if I do some nonsense, call me out, man. If it's some real stuff and you're not just being ignorant or something like that, because I get a lot of those comments too, where people are just ignorant. But it's a real like calling me out, like, D, what are you doing, man? What this you just said this doesn't make any, this ain't you. You know what I mean? If I start trying to endorse the Ball Shaver 2000s or something, then guys hit me up like, D, what are you talking about? The Ball Shaver 2000? That's who your sponsor is? For real, you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to sell or take a sponsor of something I don't believe in.
I know who you're talking about, but I ain't gonna drop names.
That's my dude, though. Look, it's Mitch. It's Mitch. He does what he does. It's his job. But I don't hold that against Mitch due to the fact that he has a boss. That's not his channel. A lot of people think that that's his channel. It's not. He works there. He's just an employee, so he takes whatever sponsor his boss tells him. But he was one of the first dudes that I started watching back in the day when his channel started growing. And I was out there hanging sheetrock and framing houses and stuff, and I would be listening to him in the background. But some of the nonsense that him and other creators were doing, I was like, man, this just, to me, it's not representing the Raiders. I'm just gonna throw my 2 cents into it. If anybody likes it, cool. If they don't, okay, cool. But if I say some nonsense or I do some nonsense, yeah, call me out on it 100%. And that's why, like, when you hit me up in the email and I was like, oh, let me get back to this, brother, because, man, I didn't make this clear enough. I didn't do a good enough job letting people know that this is a rerun. I need to fix the title or I need to do something to do that. But in my mind, when I put the reruns on is I'm going to be gone for a few days. I want to give the people, because, again, I have now over 5,000 subscribers, but that live, only about 500 of the subscribers had actually had a chance to see it. So let me rerun this, and then that way everybody gets a chance to see it while I'm out with the family out camping. And then when I get back, I can make some fresh content. But you were right in your email that it was not, the title wasn't good enough to explain that this is not live, but it has to be live in order for it to be a rerun. There's no other way for me to get YouTube to like rerun a program. I have to rerun it as a live. And so I fixed the title, and then I was constantly checking those comments because some people were asking like, hey, is this live? Is it not? And
Rebel bounced during that thing too, and I got back on there, I believe, and it said, hey, like, I'm pretty sure I said that we squared up, and I was like, hey, whatever, like, I'm pretty sure I made it right, like, because you didn't mean to do it. Like, you didn't mean to do it. And YouTube's weird like that, and when it says live, even if it's not live, it's not live. Because I just saw a couple today that are from like a month ago that say they're live. So it wasn't your fault. It's just the algorithm, YouTube technology thing that 40-year-old dudes like me don't understand. So
Bro, I'm 46, brother. I'm learning all this stuff over the past 3 months. Like, I don't know how to set out. I just learned how to live stream and all this stuff. So for me, it's a learning process too. And that's why I always tell the nation, if there's like a hiccup technology wise, bro, just be patient with me because I am not a tech guy. I'm trying to get there, as we get more memberships, all that money I'm just putting right back into it. We're trying to get to the point where we can hire a tech guy to really make this show pop and be more professional, which is my ultimate goal. Is I am now like moving into doing this 100% full time.
Awesome.
I want the show to be the best Raiders content show out there, so I want to hire people. We've started the company for the show. The show is now owned by our company. Our T-shirts, our brand, the Black Rain official brand, we've started that, and so we're just pumping every dollar that we make, whether it's through memberships, through selling the posters, through selling the T-shirts, all that. We're just pumping it all right back into getting to the point where we can hire that producer, somebody who's a lot more technical experience than me in this stuff, so that we can get infographics and real time like stats and stuff popping up on here for the live podcast. I already do have 2 part-time editors to help me with the editing because I do most of the editing myself, but there's no way I can keep up with the amount of content. So we just use that money as well to go ahead and pay those guys. My boy Raider Nation Hotspot, he contributes to the newsletter. He doesn't even get paid for that. I mean, he spends a lot of time writing for the newsletter. So it's all love. And that's why, when any of the Raider Nation reach out to me, I'm going to do my best to answer you guys. Like I literally get thousands of comments. I read all of them. I don't respond to all of them because there's no way I can, but I am constantly like this.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's.
I respect the hell out of that, man. I was just trying to say that because in case you didn't remember who I was like, dude, I gotta let him know I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
I remember, brother. I knew right away. It's all good. Like I always let people know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got Big Red Ryan up in here.
I know. I'm gonna let somebody else in to talk because I ain't the only one in here. But one more question, real quick: did Mitchell Renz ever get, or not Mitchell Renz, but Wi-Fi Willie ever get back to you on that challenge or what?
No.
Nah. Oh, you can get more than 1 people in here. All right, cool. I'll be quiet for a minute.
I can get 10 of us up in here. I think at a time.
Hell yeah, bro.
But yeah, Wi-Fi is probably not. I don't expect him to.
He ain't coming.
But that's why I did say like. I as far as Mitchell goes, I mean, he was right on it. He was like, let's chop this up. Let's talk about it. And he has his position, and I told him on my show, I disagree with your position. That's your position. I disagree with it. I think there's a better way of you going about doing that. But I respect the fact that at least you are honest that that's your position. And so we're good on that. But that was my only beef with him. I think a lot of people wanted us to have like this brawl
Not me.
on YouTube. And for me, it was, I don't like what you said about AOC and other players. And I think that hurts the team. And as a Raiders fan, maybe you shouldn't do that. And then his thing was, I am a Raiders fan first, but this is also my job. And so for me, if I get news, it's kind of my job to share it with everybody else and not hold it to myself. That's my opinion. Okay, we're grown men. We agree to disagree on that, but at least you came onto the show. We addressed it, and everything's good. So I got respect for him for that. But I do wish that some of the antics that he does on his show, which kind of puts the nation in a bad light, I wish he wouldn't do that. We'll see. I mean, he's got the biggest channel, so let's see at some point if he realizes he really doesn't need to do all that. But we'll see. Raider Ryan, what's going on, my brother?
Not much, brother. Same old. Back at work again. Just getting fucking started every time you start your live.
My bro, I've been on live for 8 hours.
Well,
what are you talking about?
Not this live though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're good. You're good. So how's
salute
it
to
going
Raider
out there,
Ryan.
brother?
Not too bad. I've been kind of missed the draft today. I had some funeral to attend and then working night shift. I had to get a little nap in before I work all night tonight. So,
I heard that, man. I'm sorry to hear about the funeral, brother.
well, things happen as part of life. Just had to go pay my respects to my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
I see we got a running back though.
Yes,
Not,
we did get another running back for the running back room.
Dylan
Yes.
Laub.
I see we ran out of quarterbacks to draft in the late rounds.
I don't think we even tried.
No.
We didn't even try. There was no impetus whatsoever from Tom Telesco to even try and grab even Spencer Rattler or Jordan Travis or anybody. I think that if there was any possibility of reason to get Jaden Daniels, which there wasn't, then you get Jaden Daniels. Otherwise, they had zero impetus whatsoever to get a quarterback. They're pretty much set. We're rolling with AOC, Gardner Minshew, and Anthony Brown. That's the quarterback room.
Well, apparently AOC is a 6'4", 230-pound quarterback now. So, okay.
So he did grow. He did grow up.
That's that big boy NFL training program hanging out with Max Crosby.
Yeah.
That's Deuce Gruden right there. That's Deuce Gruden right there, baby.
Yep. Getting them bulked up, ready for the season.
Yeah, who needs Drake May when you got AOC same size? Let's go.
And there's a lot of people don't know, man. It's an unofficial stat because it was done at Purdue and not at the combine. But AOC apparently is 1/10 of a second faster than Patrick Mahomes.
No
In the
way.
40.
4'8",
Yeah.
4'8" guy
For
or
real?
what?
Yeah.
Crazy,
For real.
bro. Crazy.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah, he's a lot more agile and mobile than people give him credit for. You go back and look at the Purdue highlights, he moves when he has to, and he's good at moving in the pocket. So
I think they're going to work on that with him all off season. They've already been working with him all off season so far. They're going to continue that, getting him into those scramble drills, the rollouts, all of that type of stuff. You're going to see an AOC this year 2.0, in my opinion. He's going to take that next step. He's every year you get a new iPhone. He's like the iPhone 16. That's what I'm thinking you're going to see this year. It's the same guy, just like it's the same damn phone, but it's got a new feature to it, and this feature is called scrambling.
Was it just me, or did Penix not seem too happy to get picked by the Falcons when he had to stand up?
Why would he be happy? You're going to be sitting there for 3 years.
Well, maybe that's a blessing for us. Maybe he ends up not even playing, and they get rid of him, and he comes to us next year. Who knows?
Well, like I said earlier, is if we had gotten him at 13, you know who we don't have? We don't have a superstar playmaker on the offense called Brock Bowers. And then because now you don't have him, now you still need to get a superstar player. Maybe now we don't get Jackson at guard center, right? And so the way that all of this played out is, let's say Michael Penix Jr. and AOC are like this. Maybe Penix is this much better than AOC. They're both not very mobile quarterbacks. Penix does not run. He does not scramble. He can, but he doesn't. So even if Penix is just this much better, would you rather have Brock Bowers who makes AOC this much better? Or would you rather have not Brock Bowers and just have Penix being this much better? You see what I'm saying? And so for me, I think that it's a much better situation not having Penix because of the fact that we got a potential superstar offensive playmaker who's going to score points in the red zone, which has been our biggest problem for the past 11 years now, right? Cannot score points.
I never thought about it like that. That's a good point, though.
Yeah, it's like that domino effect. Like if this happens, then all of this happens. And if this happens, then all of this happens. And Now you have 3 quarterbacks, or actually you'd have 4 quarterbacks on the team if you get Penix, and you don't have Brock Bowers. But you have 4 quarterbacks, but only one of them can play, right? So now you have 3 quarterbacks, and you have Brock Bowers. So it doesn't matter which one of these 3 quarterbacks play. You got Brock Bowers. You know what I'm saying? So either one of these 3 can throw the ball 15. They don't even have to throw the ball 15 yards. Throw the ball to Brock Bowers 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, and he will pick up another 7, and you get a first down every single time you throw him the ball.
He's a beast.
So
he is a beast.
That's my opinion on it. And and again, he wasn't even my first pick. He's my second pick as far as offensive playmaker, because I think long term about Davante Adams, I think Brian Thomas Jr. would have been a slightly better pick, not a much better pick, but a slightly better pick because of Davante Adams will leave, retire or leave. So I think it's great. I think it's great that we didn't get Penix. I think it's great that we got Brock Bowers. We needed to add offensive playmakers for whatever quarterback we get. And we didn't get a quarterback, which that tells you they believe in AOC. They're in the building with AOC just as much as AOC is in the building. So they're watching him make this physical transformation that he's making, and they're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Is that really Aiden?
Yeah.
Is that Max Crosby's little brother, or is that Aiden O'Connell? Who the hell is it? Look, we're gonna see tattoos on his face, all kind of stuff.
I don't know about that.
You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be
He's gonna be like the picture.
Bro, he's going to be taking his shirt off and got like a big old Raiders symbol. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have sleeves. Who knows what this is?
Oh, no, bro.
It's, so I think, now all kidding aside, I think Aiden O'Connell's, I think he's the right choice for 2024. Now, I said this before. If he comes out stumbling and by week 4, it is clear that he cannot handle the rock, then you jump Gardner Minshew in there and try and save the season. And I think that's their plan. I think that's why they brought him in. And then next year, now you're looking at, okay, we don't have a quarterback. We got to go all in. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to go after Shedeur Sanders at that point.
I can't unsee Aiden with teardrop tattoos on his face now, bro. Can't unsee.
Dude.
On the real though, real quick, dude. Spencer Rattler, did you guys see that high school video that he put out on that show where he was down talking to all his receivers and like making that dude feel like a real, he was beating him down hard. Like, there's a reason the Raiders didn't go after him. That is not an AP kind of guy. Like, he treated that receiver so badly that I watched that because they were like, oh, he's dropping the draft so hard because of this video or this show that he was on. And I went and watched like the episode where he was just bashing receivers, saying that he was a girl and he's weak and he's this and he's that. And he's like, dude, like, I'm trying to be your friend. And he's like, you're nothing to me. And I was like, oh my God, like, I never saw that part of him, but I'm glad we didn't get Spencer Rattler. I ain't gonna lie about it. That dude is toxic.
I mean, that was high school, right? That was his high. That was a high school
years ago.
Yeah,
that wasn't that long ago.
I can't hold that against a 17-year-old kid. What 17-year-old boys aren't little assholes?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I know I was. I still am.
Yeah.
I'm 46. I just try not to be now. Before I didn't even try not to be. I just was. But now I try not to be. But no, I think I wouldn't hold that against him because of his college teammates really came out and like, yeah, he's a great leader, he's a great teammate, blah, 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 blah. So, people do grow up, and I think he matured. I think he got humbled by the whole Oklahoma experience and Caleb Williams and all that stuff because he was propped up. And when you prop up a 16, 17-year-old kid as being the greatest prospect coming out of high school in the entire nation, that gets to him, right? And then they get cocky and all that stuff. I think that really he dropped because he does have some serious holes in his game. And he's a project. He's not a dude that you're going to take and start next year or even this year or maybe even 2 or 3 years. He's a guy that's probably going to take 2 or 3 years of coaching before he's ready to really, see what you got with a Spencer Rattler, because he's got a lot of holes in his game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Caleb Williams he's gonna have a horrible rookie.
Yeah, I think he could bust out, dude. He's got a really good team. But that dude's attitude's the same way. He's very about himself, and I'm the best. And he pretty much texted the punter that they got and said, "Don't worry, bro. You ain't gonna have to punt that much." Like, dude, you need to calm down. You're about to play against NFL caliber players, bro. Like, you got to play against Max Crosby's. So I would calm down with that talk.
This ain't San Diego State you're playing, buddy.
So, for me, I always take the opposite tack. I think you talk the shit, and then you force yourself to back it up. And if you don't, you come back the next day and you back it up any fucking way, bro. So I like the cockiness. Antonio Pierce is cocky as shit. If he can back it up, then talk your shit, bro. Talk that shit.
All right.
Yeah, he is. But I think that we'll find out how cocky he is after he throws 7 or 8 interceptions in his first 2 or 3 games. We'll see if he still has
that same energy. Keep the confidence after 8 interceptions, and I don't give a shit. Like, you can make mistakes, but keep that same energy. Don't just give up on yourself when you throw 8 picks. You see what I'm saying? What is he supposed to say? Oh, thank God we got this punter. He's going to be working really hard this season. Come on,
like,
man.
legit though. He got thrown into a way better situation than Bryce Young did last year. So he's really lucky that he didn't go like Bryce Young did last year into a team that had nothing. If you were to take Bryce Young this year and put him on the Bears, he'd probably be a lot better than he was last year too. So Caleb Williams lucked out, in my opinion. Like, the Bears prepared for that.
Yeah, and Justin Fields is sitting there like, why didn't you give me all this?
Facts.
Why? You know what I mean? Why you just trade me away? Look, if instead of trading me and drafting Caleb Williams, we could have had Marvin Harrison Jr. and Brian Thomas Jr.
But that's like if you're like dating a girl and you haven't given her a ring, and she's like, why don't you put me on the deed of the house? And you're like, well,
I like you.
It's coming.
I mean, you haven't even met my mom yet. You want the deed of the house? Besides, your sister's better looking.
Oh man. Ouch.
Yeah. Oh,
but but for real though, I think Caleb Williams is about to find out the hard way that you're you're not playing San Diego State no more. Now you're playing the big boys. Everybody in the NFL was the best of the best coming out of college. And so each and every week you're not getting wide open wide receivers to throw the ball to. That just doesn't happen on a regular basis in an NFL game. You might get 1 or 2 a game. That's it. So the rest of them, you're thrown into tight windows, and you're having to make those split-second decisions. And these DBs, these linebackers, these dudes they're all ball hawks. Every single one of them.
They'll make you wrong real fast.
Don't make the wrong decision in front of Jack Jones.
No. He's going to stare you down as he runs into the end zone. I love that. That's one of my favorite moments of last year is him just staring Patrick down. And then the Jordan catch in the Chargers game. That guy is the truth.
How about calling your shot against Mahomes before you pick it off and then you stare at him as you walk into the
boys. That's dirty. That's dirty, though.
That's old school Raider football right there.
Hey, that's how
we are not afraid.
That's how Long Beach do it, bro.
Yeah.
BC.
That's dirty.
What up?
Yo, I love you, Jack Jones. I'm gonna lie. And everybody was hating on that Instagram video we did, kind of like you were talking about, talk your shit. You know what I mean? But like everybody's hating on the Instagram video. I was like, I ain't trying to have no, off season, this and that, like extra drama, but it didn't even amount to that. But I mean, no, Jack Jones, he talks his shit, dude, but he can back that shit up just like you said.
Yeah,
That's right.
for sure. He definitely has the skills. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see him take that next step. The only issue I have with Jack Jones is I had a little homie back in the day who reminds me a lot of Jack Jones, and that kid was a handful to keep out of trouble. And
You mean
I'll tell
Meek
you, like,
Robinson? Like a Meek Robinson, right? Except he ain't nothing like Jack Jones, but a handful, a handful.
Mm, yeah, he from the city.
yeah.
We a little crazy, but he gonna be all right, man.
He got some
So-
TikTok done. He had
Pierce
some
know how to
TikTok
talk to
done.
him.
And that's kind of the problem too, is with social media. Now you have these young players literally filming their entire lives, and it
Yep.
only really takes one mistake for the NFL to say, nope, you're done.
Yep.
And so that's my biggest worry with any of these young guys is, and I just always say it, like, do your social media, have all the fun you want, but just remember, you're the 1% of the 1% of all boys in America who dreamed of going to the NFL. And it can be taken away from you like that. It's done. It's gone.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Unless
one
you're a
terrible
chief.
decision.
Unless you're a chief, how many games you think homeboy gets for doing 110 in his Corvette and hurting 4 people and walking away from the scene of an accident, right? And testing positive, I believe, for marijuana at the time. But how many things is it? Rashid Rice, is that his name? Is that who it was that did that?
Yeah.
But how many games do you think he gets suspended for? He should be the whole year, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I mean, it because there was an accident involved. To be honest, I think there should be a zero tolerance at all. Like you're not coming back
100%. He could have killed 4 people.
because we literally had one of our wide receivers actually kill somebody for the very same
Yep.
reason, and
Yep.
he's done. He's in prison.
Yep.
Though they do say
No
that he
tolerance.
could
Zero
get out
tolerance.
in time to get back in the NFL, but I really don't think the NFL would let him back in. We'll see how that pans out, but because
What do you
if
think? What do you think he does? 6 games, 4 games? Do you think he's out for the year? Honestly, like truthfully, because he's a chief. Like, and I'm not trying to be like.
Yeah.
well, the
I'm not
Chiefs
trying to
did
play
draft
with
some
the
wide
conspiracy.
receivers.
I think he's out until this thing is cleared legally, and then he gets a suspension on top of that. So I don't
Yeah.
think he plays it down until this has all been figured out. He's served his time, and then they add a sentence to that. So
Yeah.
it could effectively be a while, even if
I would
his
say a year. I
suspension
would
is
hope
shorter.
a year. I would hope a year at least. But
Yeah, I think anytime that there's, if he was just, and I'm a muscle car guy myself. I am not gonna lie. I have speeding tickets. Right.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
My
for sure.
my Camaro got me some of those.
Yeah.
And
And
part of
five.
it.
Rock V28 with a 383 stroked out is what I had.
Yep. And that,
Yeah,
I mean,
boy.
the power in those cars will easily get you in trouble. And when I was young, when I was in 18, 19, 20, I used to street race, very, very irresponsibly. And fortunately, I mean, I never got in an accident. Nobody that I ever raced with ever got in an accident. There was no injuries, but it easily could have happened that way. But then once you combine any type of intoxication involved, and then loss of life or serious injury, like you're really endangering other people's lives. I know where I live, an entire family in a minivan were taken out by a reckless teenager doing like 95 and went through a traffic light, right? There was like 4 kids involved, mother, father, and I think only one survived, and it was like the 3-year-old. Everybody else dead, gone. And
Man.
so for me, I think if you're an NFL player and you're doing stuff like that, dude, you're literally taking the spot of someone else's dream and you don't care about it, then you probably just shouldn't even be in the NFL at that point, right?
Fact.
It's one thing to just be speeding, like you're doing 89. Nate Hobbs, I think, got caught pulled over speeding. You know, and he was all panicked. This was his rookie year, and it was after he had got, you know, caught sleeping in his car, sleeping off a night of partying. At least he wasn't driving. But then later on, he got caught speeding on the highway, and then he's been cool since then. It's just a speeding ticket. Yeah, I don't got a problem with that. I got him myself. I'm no better than anybody else. But if you're racing on the highway, you're a football player, and you hurt people because, first of all, if you don't know how to race, you don't know how to handle your car, don't do it. Secondly, if you have that much money, there is a state-of-the-art raceway outside of Vegas, just outside of Vegas, that you can take any street car to, and you pay like $200, and you get the whole track. Go do
Not
that
trying to
there.
bring up bullshit, but that's what Henry Ruggs should have done, man. You got to be smarter than that.
Bro, Henry Ruggs
Well,
should have just
Ruggs-
called a Uber, man.
Yeah.
Well,
he
no, I mean,
was
not in that
just trying to
moment,
make it
not
to
in that
practice.
moment, not driving drunk on the track. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you want to race your car, take it to a track. You're a millionaire. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the speeding for Ruggs was about trying to make it to practice on time, bro. He had to drop his girl off, go home, try to get dressed, do it, blah blah.
Shouldn't have been a top
practice.
golf till 4 a.m. or whatever it was. You know what I mean?
There you
Like,
go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, was that what he said, or was he just showing off like, hey, babe, want to see how fast I can drive this car? And then he's going to court for vehicular manslaughter, and I was just trying to get to practice.
yeah, legit.
Yeah.
Because he
Yeah, you never
texted
know.
Derek Carr that night. He texted Derek Carr that night, and he could have easily asked Derek Carr for a ride, and Derek Carr would have given him a ride. Or the Raiders would have
Yeah.
given him an Uber, or he could have rode in a limo, or whatever. Like, he didn't have to get that Corvette and do those things. But
Or
he talked to
like-
Derek Carr before
Yeah.
that happened, and Derek Carr would have given him a ride. Derek Carr, everybody hates Derek Carr, but Derek Carr is a good dude.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not
for
the
sure.
best
Oh, yeah.
quarterback, you know what I
No.
mean? But he would have given him a
Good
ride.
dude. Yeah, no, he's a real good dude. Derek Carr is an awesome person from all accounts. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's I think super ironic about this and why no one would have predicted it is like Henry Ruggs lost his best friend in a similar manner in a drunk driving accident. So, the fact that he would go and do that after basically dedicating his career to his best friend and he lost that way is not something I would have predicted, and I don't think anybody on the Raiders would have predicted that either. So.
I didn't even know that was a thing till you just said it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, go look it up. It's pretty sad.
That's
actually.
sad, man. That's sad, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, man, that I think it's an even bigger problem now, where you have 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that are coming into the NFL and they're already rich because of the NIL out of college.
Yeah.
You got guys that are coming in that are already worth $10-15 million. And so they're
Fact.
already rolling up, rocking the jewels and driving, you know, a souped up C8 Corvette and Ferraris and stuff. And it's like, I know me. Like back in the day, I used to race a little Honda and
Honda what?
For real.
Honda what?
a CRV.
Oh, I was
a
like,
little,
it's CRX. I was
CRX?
like, respect.
yeah.
The CRX.
Yeah. Or CRX. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
CRX,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
CRX is mob, bro. I have
those
a
little
local
Yeah.
in
things
it too.
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You put a muffler on it
94
too.
CRX
Oh,
inside,
yeah.
baby. Untouchable.
Yep. And
Yeah.
a little Mustang, had a little Mustang 5.0. So
What year?
96. I had a 96 Mustang
Okay.
and 98 CRX.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I used to race those all the time, man. I can't imagine. I mean, those things pale in comparison to the power of just a base model C8. I rented a C8 for my son, which is his favorite car, and
Yeah.
oh my God, just that thing was just above the base level trim, and
Yeah.
it was so powerful and so fast.
For
I
like
couldn't
prom
imagine.
or like prom or some shit or what?
No, it's just he was in town. My son lives overseas right now, and he came home for a while, and so I surprised him because he had mentioned to my wife that his favorite car was the C8 Corvette, and
Damn, you're a
so I
sick
was
ass
like,
dad.
okay,
You're a
cool.
sick ass
So
dad,
I went,
bro. I wish I had a
yeah,
dad like that.
I went and rented one, and it was cool because I told him, like, he's sitting on the couch, and I was like, hey man, let's go to the store and get some stuff for the girls. And he was like, oh man, can I just chill? I'm kind of tired. I don't really want to go. I was like, come on with pops, let's go. And he was like, all right, cool. You know, he's 20 years old at the time. And he's like, okay, cool. And so we get out to go, and we go to get my truck, and I was like, hey, let's take the other car. And he's like, what other car? And so I pulled the thing out, and I start it with the remote, and it's all and it's parked right on the other side of the street from my truck. And he looks over at it, and he was like,
What's
happening here?
That's dirty. Whose car is that?
I was like, come on, let's go for a
Don't
ride.
wreck it. That's yours for the day. Don't wreck it.
Yeah, and for the like he's like walking up to it like, is this for real? Like, did you buy a C8? I was like,
he's like, what happened? Why would you buy one of these?
My Raiders career is taking off like a motherfucker, bro. Like,
Yeah,
don't worry
man.
about money.
so no, it was cool. We rented it for a couple days, and he got to drive his dream car and stuff, and it was like
Man,
it was a
that's
lot
cool,
of fun.
bro. That's a cool dad story, man. Like, that's a legit dad story. Like, I wish my dad would ever done some shit like that for me, but he didn't. But it's all right. But yeah, no, that's cool shit, man. You the man.
Yeah, man. It's just
Don't
I didn't
remember
let
that
him drive it.
direction,
I didn't let him drive it by himself though. I was in it with him the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's
for
like,
sure.
dude, you got your hand on the e-brake. You're like, hold up,
Yeah.
hold up,
you're
hold
like,
up.
Yeah. I'm like, this ain't my
He's
car,
We ain't
that
wrecking
man.
his car. We ain't wrecking his
Easy
car,
for that
bro.
corner, bro.
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
roll with. I'm rolling with you. No, it was a lot of fun. Even my daughters, I let them drive it around the parking lot of a office building. My oldest daughter, she was great. My youngest daughter is just like me though. She is off
Johnny
the
Gunn,
like. She's just like, yeah, let's go, Dad. And I'm like, oh God. I'm like, baby girl, this is not my car. Please,
Oh my
like,
God,
slow
dude.
down.
Yo, I just got my insider just dropped me a list of the undrafted free agents that we have right now. So let me read this to you real quick.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me open this shit real quick. So Carter Bradley, quarterback, South Alabama. Carter Barrington, guard, Baylor. Andrew Coker, tackle, TCU. Jeff Foreman, wide receiver, Arkansas State. Tamari Fox, defensive tackle, North Carolina. TJ Franklin, defensive end, Baylor. Amari Grainer, defensive end, North Carolina. DeMarcus Governor, cornerback, Northern Iowa. Lee Trick Griffin, wide receiver, Mississippi State. Jake Johanning, guard, Furman. Ramon Keaton, wide receiver, Tennessee. Will Putnam, center, Clemson. Phelan Stafford, safety, Nebraska. Noah Shannon, defensive tackle, Iowa. Jaquan Shepard, cornerback, Maryland. Ron Stone, defensive end, Washington State. And Rashad Williams, Texas Tech, are the dudes that we have picked up so far as undrafted free agents.
Yeah, that wasn't line. That's right in line with what Telesco said. So I
I
was
don't know what you think
expecting.
about any of that because I just read it and I haven't looked up any of those cats. But I mean, you guys can look that up yourselves. I'd like to hear about what you think about those guys because I really don't pay attention to this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
So most of them are you're gonna see get cut before the season starts. So you'll never even see them on the team. Probably 3 or 4 of them will make practice squad. So we
There's
do
a
this
couple wide
every
receivers in there for you, though. Couple wide receivers in there for you, brother.
Yeah, I'm not excited about any of them.
The player that sticks out to me is Ron Stone. He's a defensive end from Washington State. And
I live
he's
30
actually
minutes
pretty-
from Washington State, bro. I watch all the Cougar games, so.
Yeah. I think Ron Stone could do something. He's got some athletic ability. He's got some ability to make some impact plays. So we'll see.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Gonna have a lot of the practice squad guys fill out the practice squad, and then guys are gonna be in there for the training camp. You're gonna have some that are just gonna be like, wow, how did we let this guy like go through the draft? I mean, if you look at Jacoby Myers was undrafted. wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's that.
So you do find those gems in there where nobody scouted them, nobody's really looked at them, they fell through the cracks, and then it's like, oh my God, you got a Jacoby Myers on your team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got to feel good about. You guys got to feel good about this. I mean, I feel good about it. And like I said, AOC, Gardner Minshew, it really doesn't matter. But I feel like this is one of the best drafts I've ever seen from the Raiders, and I've been alive for 40 years.
Yeah, this is definitely one
I
of the
agree.
best that we've had in a long time. Like me and Hot Beavers were talking about earlier, it just feels like adults are running the show. And we haven't had that before. It's been, John Gruden, I'm a guru, I'm a mastermind, I know everything. It's been McDaniels, I'm a guru, I'm a mastermind, I know everything. And before them, it was, like McKenzie. McKenzie had never really been a GM before. He was an assistant with Green Bay. And, really before him, it was Al Davis, as his mental health was severely impacted. And he was making very questionable calls. So really, we haven't had great drafts since, I would say, pretty much since Charles
Amari
Woodson.
Cooper and Khalil Mack and Derek Carr. They all came in the same draft, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also.
That's probably the best draft we've had I can remember.
No,
Yeah.
In a different draft. Right. No, Cooper was in a different draft. Mack and Carr came together along with guard. Slips my mind right now.
I know you're talking about. I can't remember his name either right now. He was good though.
Yeah, one of our better guards in the last 20 years we picked up in that same draft, and then Amari Cooper was subsequent.
And I think we really suffered under John Gruden's drafting. He is terrible at drafting.
Yeah, he's the other photo in my closet with a cross through it. So.
Yeah. Target practice. I mean, John Gruden was I think he was a great motivator. I think he was a great players coach. But I think he won a Super Bowl with a team he didn't build, and it got to his head. And I think that he stopped listening to anybody else. When he was building the Raiders team and Al Davis was doing the drafting and the free agents and stuff like that, and he was just a coach, I think that's when he was at his best. When he left and went to Tampa Bay and won the Super Bowl with, again, a team he didn't build or have anything to do with, I think he felt like, I am a guru. Everybody says I'm a guru. I know better than everybody else. So when he came back to the Raiders and had full control over everything, it was just a disorganized mess. And now we're getting it cleaned up.
Super Bowl, bro. Like, he shouldn't even won that because we didn't even change our playbook. You know what I mean? Like, he knew what we were gonna do in that game. So I mean, technically, he kind of cheated. I mean, he did it because we slipped and we dropped the ball. But I mean, come on, man, you can't just roll with John Gruden's playbook the whole year. Like, you can't do that and expect the dude not to beat you.
Well, here's the thing about that. If you listen to what Jerry Rice had to say, is they did change the playbook, and they had a whole. They had everything was different, so because you're going against John Gruden, and then like 4 days before the Super Bowl,
they changed it back.
Yeah, Bill Callahan comes in and says, "Oh no, scrap that. We're just going to keep the original." And everybody was
so that's
like,
what
"Wait
you want
a
to call
minute,
that a conspiracy?" That sounds like a conspiracy, like an MFer right there.
I think that's why, to be honest, I think John Gruden has some dirt on the NFL. That's why they tried to bury him, and he's just like, nope, I'm gonna fight you. So I don't know, man. It was that was the most. aggravating football game I ever seen in my life. And what made it worse was at the end of the game when John Lynch was being interviewed, and they're like, yeah, the defense, you guys really seemed like you were one step ahead of the Raiders. And he's like, yeah, we were. That's because Coach told us what all their audibles were, and they were doing exactly what Coach said they were going to do.
Yep.
And I was just sitting there like,
Yeah.
what? So,
Dude, we are so unlucky. Like, we are so, like, our franchise has been destined for doom for so long. I finally have, like, a glimpse of sunshine in the clouds right now. And, like, we're about to finally come out of the storm, honestly. I feel like with Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco and Mark Davis actually making the right move and not getting, you know, the Patriots regime and trying to do something. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say that word, but I'm just gonna say stupid. And finally, just letting the Raider way, just be the Raider way, man. Like, we're about to come back to greatness, and I'm excited for it, man.
Yep, 100%. Yep, I agree with you. I think Raiders are going to be fantastic this year.
I think Mark Davis is finally coming into his own, dude. I think Mark Davis is finally growing up, dude. Minus the bowl cut and the backpack. I mean, I love his jacket. I love his jacket, but I think he's finally growing up and deciding that, hey, dude, like, I have to do things different. Like, I can't rely on other people to make my decisions anymore. I have to make my own decisions. And AP, he would, you know, and I'm gonna argue and say Rich Bisaccia should have been that decision. But
Yeah,
I'm going to say the AP right now is that decision. And I'm proud of little man Mark for manning up and taking the reins. I think it's going to take us in a good place, man.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm not trying to hate on him, though. I'm not trying to talk shit about Mark Davis.
No.
I love Mark Davis.
I think he was reticent to put himself in anything football related.
Somebody's speeding right now.
somebody is.
Yeah. Welcome to Vegas.
That's Vegas, man.
No, yeah, I think he was reticent to involve himself in any of the football stuff. You know, I think he didn't want to try to walk in his dad's shadow in that way. I think as far as the business stuff, he pulled one over on the NFL and Adelson, who runs the city I'm in right now, pretty much until his death. So I think he figured out how to play the aw shucks stuff as far as business is concerned, and then get what he wants out of it. You know, they played him out of LA, and now he's got the most lucrative stadium situation in the whole NFL, and he's on his way to being the richest owner. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Exactly.
But I think he's also figured out that when it comes to the football stuff, he has more instincts than he thinks, and he needs to be the owner, because no matter what, you are the owner, man. The buck stops there.
Yep. 100%, man. Well, listen, that's a wrap for tonight. I gotta go and take care of some stuff. So great draft. Looking forward to
Great
it.
draft.
Let's go
Yes.
Raiders. We will again next Saturday, because the draft kind of messed everything up for open mic night. We will get notifications out sooner for next month's open mic night, so that we can get get the whole group up in here. We literally sent the emails out like the last minute.
Few minutes before,
We just didn't have time with all the draft coverage. We've literally, me and Hot have been on now for like 9 hours today live. So.
And it's been days. It's basically draft
Yeah.
coverage, sleep, eat, draft coverage.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm going to be going live soon, so we'll have a chance for guys to come on and talk on my lives too. So
For sure.
I'm
Appreciate
be
you,
real
A-Train.
for y'all cut out though, real quick for y'all cut out. I mean, when I tell you, I have the utmost respect for what you guys do. I watch, like, I'm a habitual watcher, bro. So like this to me, it's cool what you guys are doing with the whole fans coming in here and doing stuff like that. But at the same time, I mean, I'm all about content 24/7, and your content's good content. I appreciate both you guys very much, and thank you for having me on, man. It means a lot. It really
Absolutely,
does.
brother. For sure. For sure.
for real.
Appreciate you.
All right,
Let's
y'all
go
be
Raiders,
easy,
man.
Let's go fucking Raiders!
Raiders!
Oh baby!
Let's go.
Hey, this
Let's
is
get it.
it. This is the year, bro.
Respect!
Oh.
Easy, fellas. I'm out.
All right, brothers.